Welcome to Big Ideas Little Table. I'm Peter.
And I am Chris.
And this is Naughty News with Chris. We have several articles here that I stumbled across that have to be talked about. And since we're doing it at night, it's a special night version, I figured we would get a little naughty.
That's why I wore the dark clothes, because it's the darkness.
Exactly.
I represent the darkness.
You represent the darkness. Oh, that'd be an awesome book name. I represent the darkness.
I might get that tattooed.
Just right here.
On my
but like in
back.
Chinese writing. And it's actually saying like, I represent like cocktail hour or something.
Or something terrible where it just says like cheese, egg. You know, it's a grocery list. Like it says I represent the darkness. They're like, no, it doesn't.
I would actually get that on purpose. You're like, you know what that says, right? Yeah, it says cheese, egg, breakfast sandwich. Because that's my favorite.
Because I love that.
Because I love it. They're like, oh, okay.
And everyone else would be like, oh my God, does that say like Serenity or something? Yeah, sure, whatever.
Actually says Magic Mike. I thought the movie was great. You know, I just had to.
Channing Tatum, he's just so dreamy.
So anyway, Naughty News with Chris. It's a special installment.
Oh my God.
Because
I'm excited. I
was searching through articles for crazy news. But the crazy news was so naughty, it had to be this. So ready for the first one?
Yes.
This is going to blow your mind because it took me several reads to really kind of get the feel. Ready?
Okay.
Okay, so the first article we're reviewing.
I like that we switched to the sexier voice. Thank you.
The first article that we're reviewing is on Naughty News with Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Texas homeowner says hooker ghosts have taken over rental property. Quote, they're trying to stir up business. This is a legit article I found on Fox News. And it gets even better if you read into the story. So
I don't know if it can get better, but please continue.
This is what happened. It says Linda Hill, owner of Hill House Manor, told Jesse Waters Primetime, which must be a big show there, you know. I mean, you watch it all the time, right?
Yeah, Texas, of course. Yeah, I'm always there.
Monday, she was taking a shower. Everything happens in these like horror movies. Everything happens when you're taking a shower. It's like almost like the ghosts wait until you're taking a shower, and they're like,
"You're most
Let's
vulnerable.
get her."
You're most vulnerable. You're already naked.
That's what they think. I'm on patrol. You know, I'm naked. I'm exposed. I'm like ready for anything. There's like hot water on me.
Yeah, you're about to helicopter your way out of there.
The worst part would be really the ghosts need to catch me in the morning when I first wake up and I don't know like what planet I'm on. That's the time to get me. Like, what's going on? So anyway, she says she was taking a shower when she heard someone say, "Looking good." She says, I thought it was my husband. I mean, he and I were the only ones in the house, she said. However, it was not her husband making the comments. It was a ghost, she added. I love the, what is it, like correlation does not equal causation?
We just dive right into it.
Well, it's not my husband, so it must be a ghost.
I feel like she's kind of trying to flex on us here that she's getting paranormal compliments, like looking good, like... I feel like, you know, if nobody's going to be like, oh, yeah, that ghost was saying, listen, you got a fat ass and I hate it. Like, no one's going to, like, no one wants to share that story, but
that's true.
Like, well.
But this one, she had to call Jesse Waters Primetime. She's like, this needs to be on the news. Like, I hit on my ghost.
The people must know.
It actually makes me kind of feel bad because I've been naked in the shower multiple times and never once has a ghost come on to me or at least complimented my physique.
Wow. I'm sorry. I mean, I feel like
has it happened to you?
No.
Not even like a whistle, like
a whistle, but I don't want to blow the mics out. Hey there.
Yeah. Like, who's that? Babe, is that you?
Oh my God, it's a ghost.
I'm the only one home. Must have been a ghost.
Had to have been a ghost. There's no other explanation. None whatsoever. That's my favorite thing about any type of ghost story is that they refuse to try and look down any other avenue. Yeah. As soon as they meet the smallest amount of, well, that's not the right answer. Well, then it must be ghost. Like,
it has to be. And then not just regular ghosts. These are hooker ghosts. So like we're going like 10 steps further from just regular ghosts.
Wasn't there a woman who claimed that she was in a sexual relationship with a pirate ghost? And then proceeded to she broke up with him?
If there was.
This was years ago.
I haven't heard about it, but this sounds amazing. And why have we not seen the movie? Like, they can make Toy Story 4, but they can't make the pirate ghost lover. Ghost. This needs to be a thing.
At least a porn. I mean.
At least. Well, now we have to Google that.
It's a gold mine here. Call Pornhub. We have the next angle.
I would love to apart. The sequel to that, like How I Got These Splinters. Is that how they turn into a hooker? You make love to a pirate ghost?
That's enough. That's enough.
That movie's going to be rated R.
Jesus.
I don't think he was in that one.
See it with your mateys.
See it with your... That's hilarious. All right, so basically... To finish off this one, she said, "Hey, good looking, shower has to be a ghost."
Sure.
And excuse me, she added, she believes the home has many different types of ghosts.
Oh,
we've got kids, we've got old people, old guys, we've got hookers. So it's not just the hookers. It could have been anyone. It could have been the old guy or the old people, which is funny because. She has like clientele, like
at her house.
Old people, old guys. I'm like, okay, I get it.
So what I'm struggling to grasp here is that she was able to. I mean, identifying children versus old people. Like if you're seeing the ghost, then you can tell that. How do you specifically tell that it's a hooker and not just like a slutty dressed woman? It's not like she's like, oh well, I got lawyers and doctors, I have architects here, I got nurses, I got them all, I got everybody here.
For all we know, the nurse could have been a hooker. You know what I'm saying? Man, that's just her outfit. But this is how she knows. She says the most common type of ghost that comes around are hookers because male renters have told her they have felt somebody stroking their face and stroking their arm or touching their shoulder. So must be a hooker.
That equals hooker.
If you,
admittedly, I've never bought a hooker, but I feel like they should be stroking other portions of your body, not your face and shoulders.
I would feel a little gypped, honestly. Like,
what are we doing here? What are we cuddling?
Also, it's not a hooker unless you're paying for it. So are these men paying for this service? Because
so then they're just promiscuous ghosts.
Exactly. So they're being misrepresented.
Sure.
There are holes all over. This is a Swiss cheese story.
And maybe they're just a comforting type of, if you're stroking their face and shoulder, that's not necessarily sexual.
No. In fact, if anything, maybe they're like motherly ghosts.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you had a hard day. Don't worry. I saw you crying. Let me help you out.
With a handy.
She didn't go that way. She said, maybe she like changed it. Like, yeah, the male renters were talking about them stroking the shoulder. Definitely the shoulder.
100%.
Not any other parts.
But then she would leave in the part where she gets complimented again. I'm thinking that this is just all a ploy so that she can be like, yeah, I'm getting complimented by ghosts. It's not a big deal.
She led with that. That was like the first paragraph was like, hey, the ghost was calling me sexy.
Step 1, I get hit on by a ghost. Step 2, they're all hookers.
End of our... I can only think that someone edited this story, right, and decided, like, this is so good, we need to syndicate. Like, this needs to be on Fox News all over the country. Hooker ghosts are stroking people's faces and shoulders.
Well, just going off the editing, I feel like there's probably more craziness to this story, and the editor's like, Jesus Christ, can we get this down to something that... she said it was a hooker ghost. Fine, just leave that in. That's fine, it doesn't matter.
Just think about the poor person that's like, Ma, I got my big break. I'm going to be on Fox News. Oh, dear, that's amazing. What's the story? Tell me every detail. Nah.
That's okay. It's dogs or it's adoption or something. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
something really...
So anyway, that's the first naughty news. Hooker ghosts are real, and they do compliment you in the shower.
Oh, don't exercise those ones.
Would you like us to call the priest? No. We're cool. This is awesome.
How am I looking back there, ghost? Yeah.
Do you think this dress makes me look fat?
No, you look amazing.
All right, so let's skip to the next article.
I don't know if you can top that last one.
No. This one is kind of like a 50-50, though. So when I first saw the title, I was like, oh, boy. And then I read through, and I was like, you know what? I can see both sides. This is a black and white type.
Oh my gosh.
I'm curious to see what you think.
Yes.
This is the title. By the way, I want to be the creator of the title for these news bits because
like the catchy grab.
There's like the big title and then there's like what it's about. So it'll say something like cat burglar. And then underneath it's like cat walks out with Milky Way bar from convenience store, and there's always that like catchy grab. So this one is extracurricular activity, right?
Uh-huh.
And then The explanation is teacher forced to quit after filming OnlyFans sex act in classroom.
Oh, dang it.
Right?
Keep that stuff at home.
Right. So at first, obviously, I'm like, well, that's just messed up. Like, who would do such a thing? But I read the article.
Turns out she sleeps with a student or what?
and the plot thickens. No, so that's kind of what I was thinking. I was like, these gross people and their gross
Wait,
stuff.
if it's a female teacher, it's less gross, right? Isn't that how that...
It is a female. It is a female teacher, so it was okay.
Okay, perfect.
But she performed. Her husband, which was a substitute teacher, also performed in there. So not okay. Not okay.
Okay. Well, but that's consenting adults doing what consenting adults do. They bang each other.
I'm just kidding. This is my conundrum. So
Sorry.
At first I read it and I was like, well, why can't you? Like you just said, it's consenting adults. Like they were doing anything wrong.
But if it's on school property,
and that's kind of the thing. So. Let's go through it a little bit. There are a few things here that I was like, okay. So basically, she had this OnlyFans site, right? So she's a teacher, and her whole thing was, look, I wasn't getting paid enough.
Sure.
Like,
teachers don't.
We had expenses. Yeah, teachers don't.
No.
We had expenses. I needed to make a little extra money. So I thought this would be a good way to do it. And she actually took steps to prevent it from getting out. So... First of all, I love how they present it. This is how they present the people finding out about the material. It says, students stumbled across her OnlyFans account where she had posted pornographic material, prompting outrage from parents. I love that, like, high school students just stumbled across this. Like, oh no, I opened up Google and there it was.
OnlyFans. Oh my God, that's my teacher.
But check it out. This is what she said. She said, okay. She says, this is a quote. I created content at the beginning of the summer in order to earn extra money on the side to help pay for our basic necessities that our salaries are no longer to meet. She says, I chose an anonymous name as well as blocking the entire state of Arizona where she was teaching and living on my OnlyFans so that it wasn't accessible to anyone living in the state. So I love how students can just stumble across
whoops.
Like, oh, this just happened.
Throw a VPN on that says you're in like the middle of Wisconsin. It doesn't matter. It's perfect.
Yeah. So I read that and I was like, okay, well, she did take steps to prevent it. It's not like she was flaunting it or like pushing it to the kids.
Sure.
So here I'm like, oh, I think she's innocent.
No.
Now the part where it falls apart is that they were reviewing the videos and stuff, and basically they thought that one of them may have been filmed at the school.
Yeah.
Cross the line.
Shucks.
Yeah.
You almost had my sympathy.
Almost. So at first I was like, okay, well, she's totally innocent. But then I was like, she overstepped. But she did recognize it.
No.
She said, I made a mistake. And apparently people are like really going after her for this.
Who cares?
And that's, okay, so we agree.
Yeah.
That's kind of my thought. So after I read the article, I was kind of like, guilty, not guilty, guilty. But then at the end of the day, I'm like, look, people got to make money.
Yeah.
I understand you have mouths to feed, you have necessities, you have stuff like that.
Sure.
She took steps to make sure that none of her students saw it. She made a mistake. I think we live in this culture where it's so like cancel culture of like, boo, you
burn
made
her.
one little
She's
mistake.
a witch.
Exactly. And I'm like, can we just give her the benefit of the doubt? Like, let's just... Okay, she made a mistake. She can learn. Can
I address the narcs of the students who found it? Because if I found one of my teachers in high school on there, I would have been like, fuck yeah, let's just keep watching. The next time I'd come into English class, I'd be like, Mrs. Smith, you're looking real nice today.
She's like, wow, the students are so attentive now. I don't know what's going on. Always turning their assignments on.
That a new blouse there? Ooh.
Okay, so you just reminded me. This is where it gets even funnier. So it actually wasn't the kids that found her stuff.
It was the father of a child. It's the husband.
Mm-hmm.
Whoopsie.
Yeah, so it was... I'm trying to get the exact quote so I can say it right. But basically, let's see.
Listen, if it is one of the dads, I'm going to throw it out there. I have, with my 4 kids... so many teachers that I wouldn't know which one of them was one of their teachers if they had an OnlyFans and I stumbled across it. I'd be like, wow, this chick's really, she looks familiar, but I don't know who she is. That's okay.
That's one of those like you have to, like, you don't just say, hey, congratulations on the baby. Like, when's it due? Like, you have to be really sure to shoot that shot. Like, you're not just going to be like, hey, you're into porn, right? Like, what?
You got an OnlyFans? Or?
No? Okay. So
hold on. Yeah, that looks like you.
Can you go sit by that desk? Oh, yeah. That was the scene right there.
Can you take this and then can you put your leg behind your head? Yes. See? I knew that.
That's it. Look, everybody, it's her.
It's her. Now it's undeniable.
But anyway, yeah, it wasn't even like the kids found it. It was a member in the community. Oh, yeah, a member of the community. And then they brought it to the attention of so-and-so.
What an asshole.
And then the kids kind of got a hold of it from there. Yeah, so it wasn't even like kids were looking at it and then it caused all this scene. It was some creep in the neighborhood that was like, that's exactly.
Oh my God, I think that's a teacher. Bro, get off the internet.
I know so many creeps out there.
See, I say she was innocent all the way up until if she did film at the school. Sorry, it's a school. That's where the lines crossed. Yeah, and I mean, I don't know if that's grounds to lose your credential, but it probably is. And so, sorry on that. But yeah, I'm 100% for, like, you know, if you want to make money by showing off your body, if people would pay to see mine, whew, I wouldn't even be here.
I always say that too. Not about your body, but
about
no.
I know you say that about mine too.
Man, if only I could see Chris's body. Like, that's all I'm asking for.
All you have to do is ask, buddy. It's a late night edition.
We're just talking about Indiana Jones, that last scene in Raiders of the Lost Ark, where it's like, don't look, cover
keep
your eyes
shut, because your face will melt. Yeah,
that would be my OnlyFans. So
is your face melting?
Well, I say the same thing. I'm like, if I had a body to flaunt, I'd be that guy that's like running in like a Speedo, no shirt, just like that's all he does all day.
Sweat
is like
glistening off.
Exactly. But I don't have the body for that. Like, nobody wants to see it. I'm doing a public service by keeping my shirt on and understanding where I stand.
Limitations, absolutely.
But I agree with you. I think everyone should have a right to earn a living. Some people agree with it, some people don't. I'm not going to jump into that mire. But where she crossed the line was public property, especially in a school. Like, you just don't mess around with that.
I think you get registered as a sex offender for that one.
Arizona, so who knows what they do over there? You would know. West. You would know. Yeah,
it's a Wild West. Don't go there.
Yeah, so I don't know the laws, but you're right. It could be bad. It's too bad. I kind of feel for her, but
what was her OnlyFans handle?
It's so funny because in the article it mentions like multiple, like, this was her OnlyFans handle. These are her other pornographic sites. Oh, I was like, what are we pitching here? Yeah, is this like an advertisement? Like,
so if you want to see the disgusting, you'd be like, oh my God, that's so gross. Where is it again? Thank you.
It's actually helping her. It's like she didn't need that job anymore. She's like, I'm rich.
OnlyFans blowing up.
Yeah.
That's sweet. Good for her.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, verdict, guilty or not guilty?
Well, as we said, guilty for doing it on school grounds. But listen, if you want to take your clothes off, that's just fine.
That's your OnlyFans tag. If I want to take my clothes off, that's just fine.
It has to have the ... in there because I want everybody to read it to pause for a minute. You know, if I want to take my clothes off, that's just fine.
I love it. And that segues perfect into our final naughty news with Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of taking clothes off, it was National Pickle Day.
Oh.
I don't know if you knew this, National Pickle Day.
It's not the pickleball, because we already did that.
We already did the pickleball. Yeah. You got pickleballed.
You got pickled.
Patent pending. Yes. Yeah. So this article is Matthew McConaughey posts racy pickle picture.
How old is Matthew McConaughey?
Well, look at the picture. It was from several years back. Okay. Yeah. Definitely not a new one. Not a current one.
I think he's like 50 or...
But although I'm sure people would love it.
Sure.
You know, once again, body comparison. If I post the pickle picture, it's getting taken down. Like,
they're like, burn that and bleach everyone's eyeballs.
Google or Meta, wherever it is going to be like, sorry, we took this down. It's inappropriate. Like, people shouldn't be seeing this. Matthew McConaughey posts, and it's...
They're like,
headline Fox News.
It's okay.
He's holding pickles. So basically, he was in the nude holding pickles like at the fridge, and this was like a throwback. Apparently, he's like a pickle aficionado.
I gotta be honest, I don't like pickles.
Same here.
Don't like them.
I'm not. But let me read to you how he describes it. This is not just someone who likes pickles.
Oh God.
This is someone who loves pickles.
Is this like the Corn Kid? Have you heard that one? It's
No.
corn.
There's a corn kid?
Oh, look it up after this.
He sounds awesome.
He's amazing. And I think he's now like the official corn spokesperson, but that's neither here nor there.
Okay, so here's his description, which I actually agree with, but I can never be this eloquent. You know what? You should read it. I think you could do a much better Matthew McConaughey, could you? This is his description of the cucumber, which is the precursor to the pickle, basically.
Do you want me to do this in a Matthew McConaughey?
Could you? Yes, yeah. It needs to be done.
We have to go back to an origin story of a cucumber. Now, look at this cucumber. It's big, plump, firm, bold, lots of promise. Oh, this is going to be good. And then you take a bite. It's all hat, no cattle. It's all packaging, no product. It has no identity. It is tasteless. All it does is take up room in our proverbial salad.
That does be, I feel like we were on a Lincoln commercial right there.
Was that good? I don't know.
That was spot on.
This is my first Matthew McConaughey impersonation. You saw it first here, folks.
That was spot on. Yeah. If you guys want to sign him up for, he'll do cameos. He'll dress up for kids' parties.
No problem. No problem.
Magic Chris.
I was trying to just channel the whole like, all right, all right, all right. That was my whole. That's all I had to go off of.
But isn't it so eloquent to describe like how disappointing the cucumber is compared to how just in general? Because I hate cucumbers because of this exact thing. I'm like, it looks like it should taste good, and it doesn't. It's terrible. But listen to him describe the pickle.
Do you want me to? Oh my gosh.
So we're going from the disappointment of cucumber now to the pickle.
But what happens when it gets older? Does it mature with age like a fine wine? Does it get better and become a pickle? He continued. Not as firm as it once was. A few more bumps on it. It even shrunk. Let's see what it tastes like. Now we got the product. Mind the packaging. Now we've got identity. Now we've got purpose. Because we're a pickle. Sour, sweet, dill. It commits. It's the pickle. And you do tickle my fancy, he added.
And the Oscar goes to Chris. That was beautiful. How eloquent is it? Like I've never had a thought this eloquent. And he's like blasting this about pickles.
I feel like just the way that Matthew McConaughey talks, it sounds like he's just constantly on LSD or something, like where he's just like talking so ethereally about everything. It's like, bro, just settle down. Like, just eat the pickle or don't eat the pickle. Like, I mean, great, that's great, but just take it easy.
I can just picture him at McDonald's, and they're like, "So, do you want the pickles or no?"
On the side, Mr. McConaughey, or on the burger? That's all I asked. Like, we got 10 people behind you, and do you want fries? Could we just?
Well, they come in little slices. Sometimes you got 2 pickles. Sometimes you got 3. Sometimes you ask for no pickles, but they put them on anyway. Yeah. And that's when the real magic happens.
Yeah.
Matthew, just move along and we'll get you your order.
Go use the kiosk over there because that's for the people that want to take a little bit longer. The people that actually want to order.
I actually love it though because I'm so how would you call it? Uneloquent. Like
you don't feel that you can come to his level?
No way. Not when it comes to speech like that. I'm the worst. I would just like even describing simple things becomes hard, especially like if I'm nervous. For instance, ordering at McDonald's, or Starbucks, whatever you want to call it. You roll up to the drive-thru. They're like, "Hello, this is McDonald's. How can I help you? I take your order." And you're like, and you're just like the sweat's dripping. Hello, anybody there? Yeah, could we take your order? I'm like,
how are you?
Big Mac. And they're like, would you like the meal or would you like a refrigerator?
Stop yelling at me, please.
And then I start just saying the numbers. Number 2. Okay, that'd be $10.50 at the window. I'm like, okay, I don't know why I ordered, but we got past that. Okay. Yeah, I'm terribly uneloquent. I'm not good. You?
Well, no. I mean, I feel I'm a little better, a little more well.
So you think you're better than me? So you think you're better than me?
Stutter through what I'm even trying to say. How is that for just terrible? Anyway, but what I was gonna say is because you mentioned Starbucks, you know how you get like patients where you have like an old man and you're like, hey, do you have any medical history? And they immediately turn to their wife because they have no idea what their medical history or anything like that is. And I always was like, oh my God, I'll never be like that. How can you know nothing? I don't know what I order at Starbucks. My wife orders it for me. Like, I don't know what my order is. Every time she sends me, I'm like, send me a text message with exactly what you want me to say so I can read it off. because when they're like, "Hi, welcome to Starbucks," and I don't know how to like, and I mean, she's got whatever, and I'm like, just order what I like, but she just does. And I'm going to turn into one of those men, those old men who have no idea what they're doing.
I'm right there with you. And I realized it the other day because this happened. I went to, I can't remember where it was, but my wife does all the orders when it comes to restaurants like that.
Because you panic.
Because I panic, exactly. So she said, "Hey, can you get me this?" I walk in, I order that. I bring it back and she's like, it's missing this and this and this. And I'm like, I read right off the text, like, because she sent me a text and I was like, "Hey, look, I'm going to get this wrong. So you have to send me exactly what you want." And she's like, "Oh, but I just thought it was implied." I'm like, there's
no implication.
There's no implications.
There's no implications going on.
Whatever it is, I'm going to say these words and then sweat will drip down from my brow and I will just pass them money and then the transaction will be finished. Like, I'm not thinking when I'm doing this.
They're like, "Sir, would you like to order?" You're like,
yeah.
"I will take a."
Breathe. You can do this. You can do this.
Do you have a vomit bag or something?
Bread, potatoes, cheddar, onions, and then they always, it never fails. I could be reading off the list. I'll tell them everything I want, and they ask for the one thing that's not on there. Right? Like it's nowhere. It's coming out of left field. They're like, "Did you want hingleberries with that?" And I'm like, and then like you can't call. You're like, "There's no time. I got to make a decision. Can I see the hingleberries? Are those? Do you like hingleberries?"
Is that something that normal humans enjoy?
And it's guaranteed whatever I choose is going to be the wrong decision.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like, "I thought you might like him. They look good. The girl said she loved him." She's like, "I'm allergic to hingleberries."
How have you not known this?
Yeah. I'm like, of course.
I love that we're here talking about snap decisions that make us nervous while we're both ER nurses.
Yeah. Not a good look. Actually, that's fine. You know why? Because we're the doers.
Yeah.
Like, we'll do stuff. Yes, you have to do some critical thinking.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, you're following orders from the doctor, right? Like, they're going to put in the orders. You do them. You bring stuff to them. You bring ideas. That's totally true. But you're not going to go rogue and be like, "We're intubating now."
Here, let's start all these things.
"I'm calling the shots now, doc." But that's how the show, like a TV show would play it. You know? You watch these doctor shows, whatever. People are always like, "I'm breaking the rules." Like, "I'm treating the patient. I do medicine right." I'm like, I've never met anyone in the world in medicine that would do that. It's the exact opposite, actually. It's like, "I don't break the rules. I follow my protocols because I don't want to get sued."
Yeah, exactly.
Which is what you should do. Like,
you don't just go loose cannon like, "No, we're treating him with this medication." Why are you doing that? All of this research says otherwise. You don't know.
And they create this like long, complex history with the character and stuff. I'm like, I don't care. I don't care about his history. I don't care about like his feelings. I just care that he's following protocols and research. Like, can we bring a show that does that where they're like,
"It's too boring.
We have a decision. This man's going to die if he doesn't get it." And they're like, "Actually, based on empirical research and, meta-analysis of things, this is what we should do. And this is why we do it."
We'll start this 5-part plan here.
Also, we're not going to freak out because we're professionals and we see this all the time.
Shouting at one another doesn't do
it.
it.
Yeah, we're going to be very calm. We're not going to be crying and screaming and all the stuff that you see on TV. Like, that's why they don't do real shows about like the ER and the ICU and stuff.
Sure.
It's because reality would be so much more boring. It would be like, "Okay, yeah, we're going to get this, everybody. Everybody get in their spots. We're all good. Okay, yeah. We have this on the monitor. Okay, let's try a little bit of this." Like, people would sleep through that episode.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's why they have to jazz it up, make the doctors do everything.
We should have Matthew McConaughey narrate. And we've come full circle. See,
Brilliant.
I brought it back.
Okay. Unfortunately, the only thing that could save this patient now. Should we intubate? No. We need 2 pickles.
Bring these pickles.
I need 2 pickles right now. One about this big, other about that big.
Yeah. Wait, that's not for even the patient? No, it's for me.
I just got hungry. That's awesome. So,
fantastic.
That's our naughty news for tonight.
I'm aroused. I'm sorry. What? I blacked out.
Perfect. That's exactly where we wanted to be.
Jesus.
So we'll see you in the next episode.